Of course, apart from that, you need to keep your customers updated. It can be via your social media or your website, any platform that you can
Yeah.
maximize. So it's best to inform them right away.
I think especially now because customers these days they want their packages now, right?
Yes.
But with something like this, like
Correct.
a natural disaster, you can't really control it. So the
Mhm.
best you can do is just to really make sure that they're well informed in terms of if there are going to be any delays and stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's super important as well.
Mhm.
Welcome to the Payo E-commerce Academy podcast, where we help you with your e-commerce journey. Here's your host, Jen.
Welcome back to another episode of Payo E-commerce Academy. Once again, I'm Jen, your host for today. And today I'm joined by Althea, our content marketing lead. And we're about to share some tips for online sellers on what to do during this season.
Thanks for inviting me to the podcast. I'm really
Of
excited to talk
course.
about like you said, tips for this season, right?
Yeah, because of course it's raining and we're expecting a lot of typhoons to enter the country, right? And of course, it will definitely affect the logistics part of the businesses. And we would like to share some tips that you can follow for the rainy season.
Yeah. So I think if we're talking about tips for the rainy season, the baseline tip that you have to follow is to really monitor the news. You
Of
have to know
course.
what areas are going to be affected by the typhoon because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, right, like it's just Luzon, sometimes it's just like Mindanao or Visayas. So
Mm-hmm.
I think first and foremost, it depends on where most of your customers are, where you ship to. So yeah, monitoring the news, knowing like the the expected damage that the typhoon might cause,
Mm-mm.
and also what roads might be passable, which roads might not be passable, to really gauge how it's gonna affect your business and your operations.
That's right. And most especially if you're partnered with a logistics courier, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
best to ask them what's the update so you can be updated as well,
Yeah. Most couriers actually like send out notices to their clients, to their
right?
merchants, about disruptions and delays in deliveries.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's something you need to look out for as well as a merchant.
Great. And then, of course, apart from that, you need to keep your customers updated. It can be via your social media or your website, any platform that you can maximize.
Yeah.
So it's best to inform them right away.
Yeah, I think especially now because customers these days they're very they want their packages now, right?
Yes,
But with something like this, like
correct.
a natural disaster, you can't really control it. So the
Mm-hmm.
best you can do is just to really make sure that they're well informed in terms of if there are going to be any delays and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's super important as well.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Aside from that, I think what's also important is making sure that you check on your inventory or your products. Like, because some merchants they just have their products at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
They get picked
inventory.
up. Yeah,
Uh-uh.
the inventory. So, check on that. Like, make sure it's in a safe place. If you're renting a
Dry area.
warehouse, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you're renting a warehouse, usually they have protocols for this already.
Mm-hmm.
Pero, best to make sure pa rin.
Mm-mm. And then, of course, another important thing is be extra, extra careful when it comes to your packaging. Because, of course, may mga couriers pa din na nagpapadala ng orders. And you want also to provide extra mile, no? Most especially if your items are really important
Yeah, or fragile.
or fragile. It's best to properly pack it. So, meron namang additional guidelines from our courier partners on how to properly pack your items. So make sure to follow that.
Yeah, that's true. So, a while ago, we did discuss about keeping your customers informed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Updates on their packages. And I think one thing you have to prepare for also is if, their packages will be delayed, especially if it's like a long delay, like a few days. you have to make sure to offer service recovery. Because as a merchant, it's your responsibility, right, to
Of
satisfy your
course.
customers as much as you can. So basically, for example, an example of service recovery is if their packages are going to be delayed, you can let them know and then maybe offer them a discount they can use for the next purchase, or maybe if the items haven't been shipped, you can include freebies, like small things like this to
Going
make,
the extra mile is
yeah.
really important. Yeah.
Exactly. And to make them feel like of course you care, that they were hassled and stuff. But again, there's nothing you can do if it's like a typhoon, right?
Yeah. So to top it off, I think the most important tip of all is to consider the safety of your staff.
For sure,
So
yeah.
yes, and of course we all know that your customers are important, your products are important, but of course the well-being of your staff is, of course, should be the priority of all.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Especially during like a typhoon, you never know paano sila affected, diba? Like
yeah.
babahaba or something. So you really have to be cognizant of those things.
Of
Like it's not,
course.
again, we're not robots. So
If you can suspend as much as possible, do it because of course hindi rin naman tatakbo yung business without them.
yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
So yeah, having said that, I think we've basically covered like everything we wanted to talk about today in terms of the rainy season tips. And I had a fun time discussing these tips
Yeah,
with
me
you.
too.
I think these will really help our merchants, navigate the rainy season better, and hopefully, well, I'm hoping na wala masyadong typhoons na
Yeah,
papasok.
hopefully.
Yeah, especially first and foremost for the safety of everyone. But
Thank you so much, Althea.
thank you.
For more tips, anything and everything e-commerce, don't forget to follow our podcast. It's Payo E-commerce Academy. And also don't forget to follow and like our pages in Facebook, Instagram, or even in Quora.
Yeah, and TikTok.
Yeah, yay. Thank you so much. See you again next time.